Marxists have got a reputation for being intellectual and intelligent, and that may have been the case in the past, right? But I don't think so anymore, and I'm going to explain why, and I'm going to talk about my experience in this Discord group I had with a Shield for Men. So me and a Shield for Men, we entered this prominent Discord group of a prominent YouTuber. It had like 500 people in it or something like that, or whatever. It had I think it had 2,000 people in it and 400 people active. It was a pretty big group, right? And we joined, and we wanted to test how receptive they were to anti-feminism and maybe some men's rights ideas. And at first, a few people seemed to be anti-feminists. And there's some potential here. I might have been wrong because I was very pessimistic. Okay. And I thought, wow, this is a nice surprise. But then it reverted to type and it became very predictable. And it's the same old nonsense, incel shaming. Okay. Now, I got restricted at the end and I couldn't post any other channels. I couldn't even look at the other channels. Right. So I did take many screen caps. I only took one screen cap before I got booted and put in the Gulag channel. So I couldn't post in the rest of the Discord. So I just left. There's no point me staying in a group like that. But we talked to these guys, and there was some anti-feminists there, who claimed to be anti-feminists, who didn't like feminism. There was one guy who in university got bullied by feminists for saying men and women are different, and he got attacked by them apparently, but he was the one that got suspended, even though these feminist females attacked him. So it shows you how subhuman men are in the eyes of society, and he's got real life experience with this. But anyway, he's still an enabler of this nonsense because he did reply back to my messages eventually, and he seems to be fine in this group. He's willing to stay in this group. And I'm going to talk about why this makes all Marxist enablers of this sort of abuse. And how I've been treated is abuse. Okay, it's gaslighting, and it's disparagement, and it's abuse. So I wish to screen cap this comment. One guy said, I don't like feminism. It's a problem, but you over exaggerate it. It's not that serious. Okay. And it gives us incel vibes if you complain about it too much. So it's coded male shaming language, right? So it basically means, yeah, feminism sort of sucks, but you got to shut up and take it and not complain about it because it gives us incel vibe. You're an incel if you complain about abuse too much because real men keep their mouths shut and just endure the pain. So why can't I use that logic against you Marxists? Stay working class, toil away for your bourgeoisie masters, take the abuse, or you're an incel. Why can't I use that logic against you? Yeah? You see how stupid it is? So it basically means your complaints are invalid. So he admitted there's a problem with feminism, but it's incelly to complain about it too much. Okay, sure. Right. One of the major problems in the left is the feminist movement destroying it because it drives men away, and you don't see it as a serious problem. So I even said this here. Marxists have driven away the working class men with the enablement of feminism. And he goes, Korean Bolshevik, are you fucking retarded? And he's probably the guy that put me in the Time Out channel where I couldn't post the rest of the Discord. So he called me a retard. He abused me because he couldn't counter me, right? Because in the chat, they brought up the identity politics, thought terminating cliche. So this is what these Marxists do, who posture like they're above feminism and above identity politics. It's just economic issues that matter. Spoiler, these guys are retards. What they do, they say, oh yeah, it's identity politics, we're above identity politics. And then they promote feminist ideas and you object to them as a men's rights activist. It goes, oh yeah, men's rights activism, that's identity politics. While they're promoting feminist identity politics. And also, when I pointed out that economic class is an identity, it goes, no, that doesn't count. And why doesn't it count? It doesn't count because I'm a retard, apparently. I'm an idiot. But they never explained why. And they have to resort to insults because there's no rebuttal, right? Every single political ideology, more or less, is based on an identity of some sort, right? Even if you identify as believing in that ideology, that's an identity. So every form of politics is identity politics, period, right? If you want to address working class issues on any way at all, that's identity politics, the working class identity, okay? If you want to address gay issues and decriminalise homosexuality in a country, that's identity politics, okay? Just hand-waving it away and calling me a retard is ridiculous and shows you that you Marxists are the retards. You're idiots. You're utter cretins and morons, and you're oxygen thieves. And it's laughable. It's laughable. Yeah. Now here's another bit. This is a reply to Shield for Men, I think, because he was talking about circumcision, which I knew wouldn't get a receptive response from Marxists because it's not I've seen someone deflect and say it's not an important issue because it's not economics. He goes, bro, go cry about circumcision in serious chat. So he's calling complaints about circumcision crying. So when men have complaints, it's crying. When babies are getting tortured and you object to it, it's crying. You see how dismissive they are. Okay? These Marxists are absolute cretins and scum of the earth. Right? And the ones that claim, oh yeah, we're not all like that, you're enablers because you hang out in these fucking groups. The ones that seem more reasonable, willing to talk, you still hang out in these groups. You let these fuckers gatekeep these groups, right? And you don't object to their censorship and banning. There was no pretext to censor me, right? Okay, I was criticising a flaw within the Marxist ideology of enabling feminism. Right? You enable feminism, people are not going to come to your ideology. Working class men are not going to come to your ideology. Marxism is dead because it's full of morons, ideologues, and uncreative, uncritical thinkers who can't think outside the box. They can only think out inside of terms of their ideology. Right? Marxism is dead. Period. It's never coming back. No Marxist is ever going to take over a first world country. That's my prediction. Right? And I'm going. If I live another 50 more years, that's going to be the case. If I become immortal, that's going to become the case. Maybe some third world undeveloped country, some Marxists might seize power, but even if they do, they won't stay Marxist for long. They'll eventually become capitalist. Marxism is dead. Right? You refuse to address male issues. You refuse to address male privilege, female privilege, right? The female bourgeoisie, the core dynamic of capitalism. So you're on the road to nowhere, right? And to the Marxists in this Discord group who dismiss circumcision, who called men complaining about things incels, you can go fuck yourself. And my middle finger's up right now at the screen. I wish you could see it. Over and out.